Right, okay, so we're there. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. What we're doing, similar to last week, just purely for laziness because we started midweek. And when I teach a lesson, I like it to run for the week and then switch it. And because we started midweek, I'm like, oh, but the people on Monday didn't get this class. And I don't want to then give you a new class because then I'll be stuck in the cycle of having to switch my lessons on a Wednesday and it'll blow my mind. And I don't like that. So, right, so we'll start. There's something new in the lesson. I'll give you that though. But yeah, we'll start. So, should we start sitting up again? It's not too cold in here today, is it? It's not too cold. Let's lay down and do it. So lay down. It's not comfortable. You'll be pleased to know I'm going back to my Feldenkrais man on a Thursday, and it's like yesterday's lesson. He did a lot of things that I've done before, but there was just one thing I thought, ooh, I've never thought of doing that before. So that's in today's lesson. So yeah, settling down if you're happy, or sitting up and starting with your toes. So just give your toes a wiggle, scrunch them, tighten them, stretch them out. And then pointing your toes and then pushing your heels away. And then circling your feet. And then keeping your heels on the floor and try to spell your name. I had a lady yesterday at Nuffield, she said, oh, I've got an accident, what do I do about that? And I was like, well, pick your foot up in it. But I just, yeah, she went right into spelling the last name. She's now making me do mine. Okay, so letting that go, going to stay with the feet. If you could just think of pivoting over your heels, so don't let your heels slide. I want you to point your toes towards me and then draw the toes up towards your face. So you're kind of rolling over your heels. And just let that movement flow up through your body. You might kind of feel, as you point your toes towards me and roll over the heels, that your back kind of arches a little bit. And then when you draw the toes up towards your face, your back flattens a little bit. You might kind of get your head to nod. So if you speed it up, imagine, I don't know, that you're listening to a really kind of up-tempo song. I'm going to feel really old. An up-tempo beat. Point your toes. See if you can get that movement to flow up the body. And then from there, we're going to let that movement go. And then bring your knees in towards your belly one by one, and then start to extend your feet up towards the ceiling. So you can bend the knees and again re-extend the legs. Switching legs if you're doing one at a time. Okay, and then from there, dropping your feet out in front of you. Slide then your feet up, and we're going to just kind of go into arching and flattening the back. So you've got both feet on the floor, laying down, hands down by your side. So just tilting your tailbone forward so the lower back begins to lift. And then relaxing down. So just don't think you're doing anything other than just tilting to start with. So you're feeling your tummy expand, the back muscles are contracting, and then just relaxing. And just let that movement flow up into your head. You might feel your chin nodding, you might feel your chin coming away from your chest. And then we're going to add in the little back flatten. So exhale and bring the muscles deeply into the tummy, flatten the back. And then inhale, roll forwards. And then again, exhale, pull the muscles deeply into the tummy to flatten the back. And then again, inhale, roll forwards. Just do that a few times, just to mobilise those discs at the lower back. And then to kind of mobilise the shoulders, just kind of relax, bring your hands up, interlace your fingers. And then take your hands across to the right. And then come back and then take your hands across the left. And just let each shoulder float away from the floor in turns. As you bring your hands across the right, left shoulder comes away. As you bring your hands to the left, right shoulder comes away. And then we can take our hands down towards the knees and then up towards the space overhead. So down towards the knees and again up towards the space overhead. And then once you've done that a few times, bring your hands to centre and draw a circle. So the way I look at this is I imagine that I'm kind of doing a hammer swing, I think, on the Olympics. I'm just feeling my rib cage going. I can feel each arm, the weight of each arm moving the shoulders. Okay, so from there, bring your hands down to your knees, extend your legs up, push forwards and come to seated. So, widen out your knees and place your hands behind you a little bit, and then just take your knees to the left, your knees to the right. And then taking your hands across to your right, my left, and then you're going to look over your right shoulder. So just let your left knee fall in, and then moving back. So taking the knees to your left, my right, and then looking over your left shoulder. So just circling across. Okay, and then as you bring your hands, so I've already mentioned hammer throwing at the start of that discus now. So placing your right hand on the floor, you're going to bring your left arm around, but shoulder height, sweep it behind you, look to the fingers, and then bring that around, placing the hand on the floor. We're going to go the other way, so you're going to bring your right hand across again, so you're going to release the discus, look into the fingers, do that a few times. Lovely. So it's like your pelvis move, move it through your ribs, into your head, into your neck. And then imagining that someone is behind you and you're going to put a pie in the face. That sounds really weird. But as you come across this time to your right, your left hand is going to go up and push it up towards the ceiling. And then bringing that left hand back towards you, and then right hand's going to go up and again push it up towards the ceiling, so you bring that a little bit higher. You might want to, the next time you come across to your right, lift your right hip up off the floor. So you're going to push with your right hand, so you're kind of coming into a bit of a weird side plank position, reaching away that left hand, and then come down and then going the other way. So you're going to take those hands around the other way. So you're going to reach up, lift the left hip, pushing into the left hand. I'm really sorry about my belly button. Coming back and then going the other way. So just keep kind of leading with your fingers, that's it. So just think over again, leading with your fingers, just keep extending, open out the hips. Oh, you're lifting the opposite knee. I've not done that yet, we'll try that. Oh, kind of down. Okay, so settle down. Bring your feet in front of you, and then we're going to roll over the shins and come down into child's pose. So sink down. So push with your shins, rounding up through all fours. We're just going to pause in a bit of a plank, so if you're bringing weight over hands, tuck your toes under, lift your knees and push back with your heels. Drawing your awareness into your breathing. Okay, so we can come down with the knees, relax the hips, bend the elbows and take yourself down onto your tummy. And then slide your nose forwards as far as you can, lifting up, moving into that tiny cobra, and then come down, push with your hands, sink all the way back until you are back in child's again. So we're just doing that 4 times. More, so push with the shins, floating up again. We're going to pause in plank, just 5 breaths this time, so dropping the hips forwards, push away the heels, back the knees, if that is comfortable, push down with hands. So you can come down with the knees if you wish, or you can come down with elbows wide. Nose meets the floor, sweep up. Pushing up back into plank maybe, then drop the knees and sink back. And then again, pushing up. 5 breaths in plank. So again, come down by dropping knees and kind of sinking through up dog or down with elbows. Sweep up. Push back up through plank if you want to. Drop the knees. Hinge back. Everyone's counting. That's 3, isn't it? Just doing 2 more. I wish it was 5. I'm quite tired of all these planks. You might even change your plank. You might do a kneeling plank next time. There's nothing wrong with a kneeling plank. So coming down, and then we will stay down for this one. So moving up into cobra, slide your elbows forwards, coming into sphinx pose. You can't see online. Okay, so when you're doing your sphinx pose, obviously you're comfortable, so just make sure your back's nice and comfortable. So pandiculating our sphinx, so looking up to the ceiling, looking down towards the floor, look down between your hands, look down towards your belly button, look down towards your knees. So you're going to bring your belly button in towards your spine. You'll feel your hips begin to lift. Just come up a little bit if that is comfortable. A little press down with the elbows. So you feel your thighs come off the floor, and then what we're doing then is slowly releasing. So just let your hips come to the floor, your belly come to the floor and pause. Take an inhale here. And then exhale here. Just kind of watching what's happening to your chest as you do that. So again, looking down and on the floor, looking through your hands, look down towards your belly button. Belly button comes in. It doesn't have to be a very big lift. It could be a little lift. I'm just doing a little one for the moment. Just tightening those muscles of the tummy, not holding it very long, and then relaxing the hips down, relaxing the belly down, really letting go of all that tension in the tummy, and again, then looking. And then doing it again. You can do 5. Again, you don't have to hold that. We're not doing 5 breaths in that little cobra at all. Again, I think I've done 5. Sliding your hands back. And then from here, we're going to go into a spiral to seated. So hands in press up position. And push your hands to the right. And then push your hands to the left. And in doing that, if you've got your head off the floor, you kind of feel yourself kind of snaking across the floor. If you've got your head on the floor, you feel yourself rolling over your forehead, and one ear comes to the floor each time. So as you push yourself to the right, notice your right hip becomes a little bit lighter. Bend your right knee, and then bring that foot back behind you. It's going to turn your pelvis. As you're laying on your left side, bring your left knee up in front of you. And then we're going to just relax back down. So straighten your left leg and then roll back up onto your tummy. And then again, pushing your hands to the right, lifting that right leg, begin to turn your pelvis to the left, bring your left knee up in front of you. And then roll that down. So kind of see this as a bit of a twist first. Get that left knee up comfortably. So let that left knee kind of start to find its way in front of you comfortably. I'll tell you something really silly. So my Feldenkrais teacher used to tell me about this. He told me a story about goldfishes. Oh, let's get to sitting, I'll tell you. So you're going to bring that right leg behind and that left knee up in front. Push with your hands and just let the weight of that right leg carry you to seated. Turning your body to cover the right shoulder. And then spiralling back down. Okay, so I'll tell you the story now. So apparently some scientists in Israel have taught goldfish to drive a car. And I was like, as I did this lesson yesterday, we were saying the study, and I'm like, what? But it's true. I put it on my Facebook last night. It's like a tank that's got wheels, and they've taught these goldfish by feeding them to manoeuvre this car. And the point that this is all about, and what he was saying basically, is that the goldfish got stressed when they went fast, and when they went slow, they were really calm, and and they were really, it made them less stressed. So when you're moving, just kind of think of moving slowly. I think once we kind of stiffen into things, it makes things more difficult. But yeah, goldfish driving, that's just insane, isn't it? There'll be a purpose to it. Okay, so let's go the other way. So coming to seated, yeah, right. So again, hands roughly shoulder distance, and then pushing your hands to the left, and again back. So then, as you push your hands to the left, you can lift your left leg up and back, bring it around behind, and bringing that right knee up in front. So again, you're pushing your hands to the left hip comes back. Bring the right knee in front, and then starting to get in tune with that. Think of that goldfish driving a car. It would be nice and calm, not speeding. You're just trying to make yourself kind of comfortable in the movement that you're doing. So once you're comfortable with that lovely roll, it's a push off the hands, and then you feel the left leg become heavy, and that helps you come to seated. And then spiraling back around and down onto your tummy. So I really like kind of connecting almost in a way. I'm not a scientist by any stretch of the imagination, but like just a physics, noticing the weight of your body and its resistance. So it doesn't ask for brute force. This is that little push of the hands. But once you're up, you feel the leg behind you kind of brings you some weight to help you come up. So should we go both ways? Maybe not, I don't know. Then maybe the next time you come up, you stay up. I think that would be quite a good idea. So spin yourself round and go onto all fours. So looking down towards your hands, lift your tailbone, so you're going into cow pose, let your heart drop, and then look down towards your hands, down towards your knees. Walk your hands in towards your knees, so your bottom goes onto your heels, and then push yourself into a bit of a crouch. And then think of your knees being heavy and coming down, and then walking your hands forwards. And then from here, let your hips come forwards, come all the way back down onto your tummy. And then lead with your nose, rise up. And just bring your bottom back towards your heels, walk your hands in towards your knees, and again push yourself back into a crouch. So then knees come heavy, walking forwards, hips come forwards, coming down with control. Rising back up, push your hands into the floor, and again walk yourself back, pushing yourself into crouch. Again, just seeing how you feel. Can we make it again fluid? Think about that de-stressed goldfish driving the car. I don't see the application of that, though, do you? I'm sure there's some, like, I need to read it again, like why they think it's useful that they know that goldfish can drive and that goldfish might know the way around things. I'm sure that a goldfish in a big sea knows where food is and wants to go places. They don't just swim around in circles. Anyway, so next time you come into crouch, settle down. I'm not obsessed with goldfish, but I do sometimes think some scientific experiments are like, wow, but I'm sure there's something that I'm missing in there. Looking down to your feet, you've got your belly on your thighs. Start to think of pushing down through your toes, lifting your bottom up into fold. So keep your belly on your thighs and just drop your head forward. So with your belly on your thighs, I'm thinking of body weight now. Just really feel the weight of your ribs on your thighs and slowly, slowly, slowly bring your bottom back down towards your heels. And as I said towards your heels, there's going to be a point where you're going to want to collapse into your crouch. That's where I'm going to ask you to stop and then push back into fold. Let your head come forward. And then again, slowly bend your knees. So again, it's the point where you think, oh, that's it, my legs are giving in. We're stopping there. So we're not going all the way down into crouch. So using body weight of your chest. And then again, open back out into fold. One more time, bending those knees, coming down into this kind of weird crouchy thing. And then slowly extend up. You might feel your hamstrings beginning to release each time you do this. At the end of the next one, relax in, just let your head dangle, give your head a little bit of a wave at the end. And it's up to you if you straighten your legs fully. If you want to straighten your legs fully, do that, but just make sure your back is happy about it. So maybe supporting yourself on your thighs with your hands or something like that. And then we're going to roll to standing. So tucking your tailbone, slowly roll up. Keep going, walk to fronts of mats and move into a sun salutation. I shall change the camera aspect. Okay, still got my head. I just put my thingy on, sorry. Pull line, you're going to get all sorts of shenanigans. Oh look, you see more. I'm going to close this curtain. Okay, so come to front of mat, bringing your feet underneath your hips and taking yourself into your sun salutation. So I'm going to roll into it. So looking down towards your feet, pushing your hips forwards, feeling your spine begin to lengthen, let your heart come up, taking yourself into back extension, rolling down into full fold. Inhaling, fingertips to shins, half fold. Exhale, hands come to floor, walk, jump or step back into plank. Going down in your favourite way. Inhale, sweep up. Push up through plank and hinging back into downward facing dog. So we're only staying here for 3 breaths because we've done quite a lot of planking and things like that so far. So, looking at your hands, walking, jumping, stepping forwards into fold. Inhale, half fold. And then exhale, full fold. Tuck the tailbone under, slowly rise to standing. Just feel like your hips push forwards and keep extending back. That's it. So take your hands up if that is comfortable. Keep your hands down if that feels better. And then roll them back down. I'm going to change it a little bit on this one. Inhale, half fold. Exhale, full fold. Taking your left foot out behind, drop your left knee. And then sweeping up into Anjaneyasana. So use that right foot to come up. Bringing hands to heart. Inhale, look at your left elbow, bring it around. I'm doing opposites to you. That's it. Oh no, Paul, you're moving me. That's it. And then taking your left elbow to your right knee. Fingers begin to point forwards. Right elbow, take a look at it. Elbow towards the ceiling. Pulling the heels of your hands in towards your upper armpit. If it's comfortable, lift your left knee and push away with the heel. This is one of my favourite poses. I just love what it does on that left side. So dropping the knee, taking your hands to the floor and stepping up and back into plank. Coming down however you like. Sweeping up, lead with the nose, pushing up and back into downward facing dog. Just 3 breaths. So we're going to take the left foot forwards by the left hand this time and drop the right knee. So again, I'm doing opposites to you for some reason. Pushing with your foot to rise up. Inhale, exhale, hands to heart. So looking at your right elbow, turn it forwards and bring it to the left thigh. That's it. And then palms come together. Take your gaze up to your left elbow and press the heels of your hands together. Right hip dropping forwards, lovely. And again, if it's comfortable, raising the right knee and pushing away with the heels. Stay here for 3 breaths. Feeling the work of that left foot in the floor. We'll say maybe take that left knee back a little bit further so that feels comfortable. Not your left knee, your right knee. So you can. She says while you're in position, don't fall. Okay, so then turn your body back. Hands come to floor. And then big push with the left foot to step into fold. Take it out. Inhale, half fold. Exhale, full fold. Roll into standing, bring yourself again into back bend. Hands to heart, rolling back down. Inhale, half fold. Exhale, full fold. Taking the left foot back again. I'm going to mirror you guys this time. Bringing that the left knee down. Sweeping up, Anjaneyasana. And we're repeating that same movement, bringing hands to heart. Looking at the left elbow, bringing it around and placing it on the right side. Fingertips pointing outwards. Take your gaze to your right elbow, let your hips fall forward. Other way, that's it, yeah. So again, you can lift the left knee if that is comfortable. Feel how it releases the left knee. And then sinking down, placing hands on the floor, stepping up and back into plank. Coming down with control. Sweeping up and back into downward facing dog. So bringing your right knee towards your right armpit, so float forward. And then sink back. Bringing your left knee towards your left armpit, so floating that with your weight forwards. And then sinking back. Looking towards your hands, let's take the left foot by the left hand and drop the right knee. And then sweep up, inhale. Exhale, hands to heart, looking at your right elbow. Turn it towards your left thigh and then place it down, fingers forward, looking at your left elbow. And again, keep the knee on the floor if that's comfortable, or raise it. Have you gone the right way there? So turn your body towards the floor. Step in with your left foot to take a bow. And then inhale into half fold. Exhale into full fold. Roll up through the spine. Get to push forward. And moving back from heart contact. So, I've been regaling people about my embarrassing event. I went to a belly dancing lesson last week. The teacher was good. Not funny. So, the room had a mirror, and I was in the corner. I thought, I'm not watching this, so I'm like, you know. And then everybody kind of gravitated to the mirror, and they all sort of rolling teeth, like belly, and just looking at yourself in the mirror, wobbling around. Yeah, there was one takeout from the class that I want to share with you. I mean, she teaches yoga, she teaches Pilates, she's also a belly dancer. But yeah, and the purpose of what she taught was to try and get this like it was like that movement. Nice. But you can take that into like a roll, and so she's trying to get us to play with this part of the body. And I want to take it into a pose we're going to come into if we can. That one. So you're going to work out this part of the body a little bit, not work it out, but work with it. So, yeah, hands are down by your side, and imagine you're sad. So you've kind of slumped a little bit, and your shoulders rolled forwards, but you've rounded the back a little bit. I just bend your knees a little bit at this point, just so you kind of you can really feel the full extent. Your tailbone's tucked under kind of naturally, and then we're going to just think of the shoulder blades in the back, and I just want you to squeeze them down towards the centre of your spine. So you're going to kind of start to draw those shoulder blades back in towards the centre of your spine. Your heart begins to lift, and you're kind of like, oh, I'm so proud. And just let your palms turn out. And then again, relax. Imagine again you're sad. You've heard some really bad news. We're going back into lockdown. And then again, rolling the shoulders. Not even rolling the shoulders, but you can start to feel those shoulders coming together. Heart begins to lift. Take the gaze up. Boris Johnson's being smacked. And then relaxing down. I can't believe the ease of aging all this. Sorry. And then shoulders begin to squeeze. And then again, relax it down. So you can begin to speed it up if you like. Bring the shoulders together. Let the shoulders roll forwards. What I love about this, even if we're not even going to get our hands into that position that I showed you, is just work that is going into the shoulders. Shoulders get really lazy, don't they? You do kind of what's best for them. It's like they're working against your body half. Okay, so from here, let's try and explore going into that little pose shoulder. So we're going to be in our depressive state, looking down towards the floor, knees a little bit bent, and then take your hands behind you. So you've got your palms kind of out together, pointing down towards your butt. Turn your hands in towards your sacrum, and then up towards your towards your shoulders. And so my thumbs are apart, my wrists are apart. And then again, we're going to think of that, being in our little happy place. So you're starting to just draw the shoulders together. You can then feel your spine come towards a little bit, and then that gives you that little bit of space to slide those hands up between your shoulders a little bit. A little bit closer to the camera for you guys. So again, I'm just going to go into sad space. So hands are dropping down, shoulders rolling forwards, and then again, I'm going to start to bring those shoulders together behind. That brings the belly forwards a little bit. It gives you space to then bring those hands towards each other. If it's not working for you, you could just maybe bring your hands and have them clasped, and then do that same thing, and then think of bringing your elbows together a little bit. So that might be what's going on and what works for you. So we're going to add this into a pose. So let go of that if you want. And then we'll take it into a little vinyasa. So, standing at the front of your mat, you'll know this vinyasa as we did last week. Look into your feet. I'm going to bring hands to heart. I'm going to move into the chest. So taking an inhale, exhale, bend the knees, send your hands sky high, skywards if you wish, and then tilt your pelvis, bring your hips back. Keep your tummy tight, spine is in extension, and then slowly come down, belly to thighs, exhale, folding. Inhale, half fold, exhale, full fold. Walking, jumping, stepping back into plank, and coming down however you like. Inhale, sweep up, and then pushing up and back into downward facing dog, taking your focus to your right leg. So I'm going to do my left, just I'm doing the same as you. Bend your right knee, press to rise up, bringing your hands up towards the sky. So we're moving into my version of warrior. Dipping your left knee towards the floor, your pelvis upright. Focusing on your right foot, spread the toes, a little squeeze that right heel might be needed. See how you feel about taking that left knee a little closer to the floor. Sinking down, placing hands down. We're going to stay on this same side. So again, coming down however you like. Sweeping up, pushing up and back. And then again, that right foot is going to come forwards between the hands. Then the right knee, press to rise up. Coming back to exactly what we've just done. So left heel's lifted, dip the left knee, 5 breaths. Last week I just kept saying, straighten nervous and come straighten your posture. In was gone. So let's push down, moving into tree pose. We can cross the ankle, or we can even go a little bit higher if we wish, placing that foot on the thigh, or maybe it doesn't want to go there at all. Moving your hands up, spread the branches. Stepping the left foot back, drag it back down, stepping back into plank. Come down however you like. Move the nose, push up and back, plank facing dog. Right foot steps forwards one more time. Bend the right knee, press to rise up, dip the left. So stepping back into our tree. Right breaths. Push the ankle higher onto the thigh. Take a little seat. A little dip. That right knee. Not quite either. And then step in the foot back. Diving down. Stepping back into plank. Coming down. Into cobra. And up and back. Right foot coming back again. Bend the right knee, press to rise, left foot comes towards, left knee comes towards the floor, 5 breaths. Pushing into tree. Push over the vertebrae in your knee. Knee comes higher, take a seat. We've not done this before, see how you feel. So from here, you can lower your hands towards the floor. Oh, right, that's an interesting one. I would come higher then. Yeah. Okay, so pushing back up and then send the foot back. And slide back down. Back into plank. We're going to take that right foot forward again when you're there. And the right knee, press and rise. Oops, daisy. Dip into the left knee. Press and step in. Foot comes higher, take a seat. So let's take out that fold thing. We're going to take the left foot back and dip into warrior three. I find this one more challenging because your legs are a little bit tight right now, isn't it? Take finding that angle. Placing the foot down, sinking down, and we'll switch sides. So sinking back into plank. Coming down with control, or using the hips first, and then sweeping up. And back. And take your left foot forwards this time. Rise up. So you've got that right heel lifted, hands floating up, dipping the right knee. So we're going to try not to overstep, sense of descending. Not be trying to be relaxed with the extension into your right hip, down to the right knee. And then sinking back down. So left foot forwards, rise, looking down. Press to move into tree. And then stepping back, moving back towards the floor. Coming down. I don't need to tell you this, it's ingrained. I probably don't have to tell you what you're doing because you now know, don't you? So press to rise up. Into tree. Move to 5. Oops, take a little bit. Try to move from the knee, Alistair, so bend that knee and quickly tilt to the hips. Bring the hips back a little bit, spine should feel nice and tall. Push back, sit down. Sinking in, so we're going to try that weird little fold on this next one. See, so again, try not to over egg it at the hips, a little tilt forward, spine. You can feel the core kind of supporting a little bit. So this fold, you might bring your foot a little bit higher and then collapse down a little bit. So I would bend your knee a little bit if you're going to try to get the standing knee. Maybe not. Or use your block, or come back up. I'd really like to hold your shin. If you don't fall over, I'll hold your shin. Okay, so push back. Taking that right foot back. Sinking down. And again, left leg forwards one more time. 5 breaths. One thing I like about this little sequence is just kind of start to see the improvement in that transition from the warrior into tree. Sometimes when you put your foot down, but the stronger you get, it's just getting these little wins. You realise your tree might not be the most amazing one, but it's the control in between that I quite like. Okay, so taking that hand, bend that half, 5, foot, 5, whatever, little bend. can feel this in the shin now. So moving into your warrior. So stepping your right foot back, drop your weight into your left foot, and you can see that little T shape. Pressing your right foot down. We're going to do the pose I mentioned earlier on. I missed it out on the other side. So you're looking down towards your left knee, lock it and then soften it. Put your right heel on the floor, your hips are forward. So we have those options with the hands. So we've got the hands facing the floor, and when you roll those shoulders back, it brings your elbows together. You could have your hands in that prayer position. So looking down towards this left big toe, that's when knees soft. Kind of round your back a little bit, and then we're going to begin to draw those shoulders back a tiny bit. So hinge from your hips, navel comes in, folding forwards. So just think of keeping your spine straight to start with. So you can keep that left knee with a tiny little micro bend in there. It doesn't have to, please don't lock it. And then if you want to start to relax your belly down along the thigh. So it's not a very long stance pose, this one, short stance. Just let your head relax at the end of your spine. What I tend to notice is the more you round the spine, the more the thumbs kind of open. So don't fight that. So bending your left knee, take your hands to the floor, don't come with your hands there, push yourself back up, and then we'll go the other way. So stepping your foot forward, taking your foot forwards. So you're dropping that left heel to the floor, lock and unlock your front knee. Feet forwards, hips are forwards, hands again in that position you're trying. Relax the shoulders, roll them back. Navel comes in, hinge from the hips, so slowly does it in curve again, and unstressed goldfish. And then it's when you can hold it, keep the spine nice and straight, keep that front knee, that little bend, feeling the push of your right foot supporting, and then the slow release further down if that is where you want to be. And then relaxing your head at the end of that movement. If you feel your back heels lifted, just see if you can step it in so you both feet are on the floor. And then lower your hands, bend your knees. Got cramp. I haven't. I'm yogic. I haven't got cramp. Feet are killing me. Right. Okay. So we are doing the movement we did last week, where we all that thing with the legs. We've laid on the back, back was flat, lifted and lower knees. It's done wonders to my back. Honest to God, so everybody's getting it. The way I did it last week is I think we broke it down into three. I think we did one when we had a leg like that, one when the leg was like that, one when the leg was like that. I'm personally favouring this one just because I can feel it kind of working a lot more effectively. So shall we just do one with the leg straight? Yes. All right. So is it okay on your back, Alison? Okay, so lay yourself down. So let's do right leg first. So we'll have the left leg bent, and you've got your right leg out in front of you. And just for a moment, just notice what your breathing is doing into your back. You might feel it does nothing. You might just feel all your breathing in your tummy. So we're going to take an inhale, tilt the tailbone forwards, and you'll feel the lower back begin to lift. And then on the exhale from the belly button, pull it back towards the spine. Feel the more you press the lower back into the floor, you feel the pelvis tilt a little bit and the hip flexor tightens and the knee lifts a little bit. Roll the tailbone forwards. And then again, flatten the back. So it's from the belly button, pull it in. And I can certainly feel it in that hip flexor. The knee begins to bend a little bit, the heel slides a little bit. And then again, inhale, roll the tailbone forward. Place your hands behind the head. And then exhale from the belly button, flatten the back, lift the head. So keep the leg down to start with. Keeping the back flat on the floor, slowly, slowly lower down. Keep the back flat on the floor, so keep that lower back imprinted. Ooh, at the end of the movement, let it go. Let your elbows fall wide, kind of melt for a moment. And then again, flatten the back. So from the belly button, you feel that little knee pull thing. Keep the back flat, lift the head. Keep the elbows wide. Try not to tilt the chin in towards the chest, so you're just kind of keeping that neutral neck. And then slowly come down. At the end of the movement, let go completely. And then one more time. From the belly button, flatten the back, curl up. And then inhale, come down. Okay, so for the next one, inhale, flatten the back, and lift just the leg up a little tiny bit. So again, we're not asking for gymnastics. And then slowly, slowly bring the leg to the floor, keeping the back flat. Relax at the end. And then exhale, flatten the back, lift the leg up. So it could just be like 5 centimeters. Keep the back flat as you bring the leg down. Relax at the end. So just 3 of each. And release. We're going to now do the whole thing. So flatten the back, lifting the head and the foot up. Slowly, slowly, slowly coming down. Just 2 more times. Flatten the back. Funnily enough, I keep count of this one. So again, as calmly as a goldfish driving a car. You are in control of this movement. At the end of that, just relax both legs out in front of you and just let your head relax onto the floor and just pay attention just to how you feel through the right side. So for me, everything just feels bigger, more highlighted. Like I've got a really big fat leg and hip, and I can't really see that left side. So we're going to change that. We're going to highlight that left side in our mind. So bending your right knee. Get your left leg straight and then taking your hands behind your head again. We're going to take an inhale. Exhale, flatten the back and lift just the head up a little bit. So keep the neck long, elbows wide. Don't let your chin come into chest and then slowly come down. Relax at the end. Exhale, flat back. So what I feel about that flat back is I feel a little bit of a pulling down of those muscles, kind of the ones just beneath the ribs. You can feel those working as you come down back control. You're also releasing them. It's going to help with your posture. Final one, bring the belly button in, and again you might feel that little tug of those ribs. Again, curl up, and then slowly release down. Inhale, exhale, flatten the back, and then lift the left leg up a little bit. Again, it doesn't have to be very high. And then slowly, again, with control, bring that leg to the floor. Relax completely. Exhale, flatten the back. Lift the knee, lift the leg a little bit. And then again, slowly drop back down. Final one with just the leg. And then exhale, flatten the back, lift the leg and the head. And then slowly come back down. Just 2 more. And 1 more. So taking your feet out in front of you, bring your head to the floor, and just let your hands rest down by your side again. How do you visualise and sense your hips now, and the legs, and the back? I would say just for fun, I'm going to take us into a bit of a boat pose. So bring your knees in towards your belly and roll to seated. Kind of tying it tenuously into what we've just been doing. So for boat pose, everybody's favourite. And got your knees bent and then kind of relax your spine over your thumb. Start to think of stacking every vertebra, like a bead, like a caterpillar, coming to full height. And when you're doing that, there's a little switching on of those muscles. Tilt your pelvis this time so you can feel your pubic bone tilting, you can feel your tailbone going underneath you. Just kind of hold in here. If it's comfortable, bring one foot off the floor, bring the other foot off the floor, and taking your gaze towards the feet. If you want to, straighten. Straighten. If you want to, bring your hands up. Slow down, belly back down over thigh. And then slide your legs out in front of you. And then come to seated. So we're going to move into that lovely little twist we did last week that I know you love. Don't know. So feet are wide this time. So look at your feet and the lighting stream's terrible. You're getting dazzled there, aren't you? I'm sorry. Looking at your feet. So we're going to go into a twisty fold, but it's from your feet. So if you can look at your right foot and rotate the big toe in towards the floor. And if you were to bring it all the way in, your pelvis will lift. That's it. Let it lift. Notice your belly turns as well. And then rotate it back. And then we'll do that a few times. So I love this. It's a big detangle for your hips as well. So turning your right big toe into the floor. And again, when you think you've got a bit stuck, let your knee turn, let your pelvis turn, let your belly turn. And then you can always have your hands on the floor if you're feeling that you're holding on for dear life. So just do that again. And then we'll go the other way. So we're looking this time at the left big toe, rotate it in. And again, there'll be a point where you think you can't go any further. So let the knee rotate in, let it go up into the thigh. The hips are going to turn, looking over to your right. And again, unwind. So you're leading this twist from the big toe. So rotate it in. And then rotate it back out. Lovely, really nice. So should we bring both feet into the story? I think we should, shouldn't we? So let's start with that right big toe. You're going to rotate it in and then start to turn your left little toe towards the floor. And then unwind and then do that again. So you're going to, the right big toe starts it and then you kind of then think, okay, left little toe, what are you doing? So you're bringing that towards the floor. There's a little bit of a pull on that heel. Do you feel your left heel kind of pulls a little bit? Let's slide that left heel in towards you, shall we? And then bring your hands to the floor. Why have I turned away from you guys? Okay. So you've rotated into your pigeon. That's it. Take your right leg out behind. That's it. So everybody's facing away from you. I'm so sorry. Okay. So stand your toes up behind you on I'm not doing that twist now at the fold, we will. So stand your right toes up behind you. And same thing that we've just done with with that heel. Drop your right heel in towards the mat, towards the centre of the mat. And so your right knee is going to turn outwards, so you're going to drop your weight into your left hip. Your right hip comes away from the floor. Do you feel that? And then stand your heel back up. And then go the other way. Tip your heel outwards towards the right. And what happens there is that right hip goes towards the floor a little bit and that left hip lifts. Stand your foot back up and then drop your heel inwards. Your knee turns out and your left hip comes to the floor. And again, standing your foot up and then turn the heel outwards. And again, your right hip dips a little bit and your left hip lifts a little bit. Just do that a few times. Have a little play. You kind of notice that your top of the body kind of follows suit, doesn't it? Your rib cage kind of have a bit of a wiggle round. I tend to see this as a very kind of wiggly pigeon. see that happening as well. Lovely. All right, so let's come back. So you're going to sweep your right foot back up and then slide your legs out, and we'll do the other way. I promise we'll get into that twist. Slight deviation. So we're going to start with the left foot. So rotate it in and then turn your right little toe into the floor. And then again unwind. So again, you start that left big toe, rotate it in, and then taking that right little toe to the floor. And then for me, I feel a bit of a pull on that heel. So I'm going to keep pulling it in, and then I'm going to slide the left leg out behind me. So again, finding a comfortable pigeon. So toes turned like on the floor, heel pointing to the ceiling, so you stand that left heel up. So again, let's take that left heel to the left. Oh no, inwards. That's it. So your left hip begins to lift, your right hip comes towards the floor. Then stand your foot up again. So again, slowly, like a driving goldfish. Tip in the left heel out to heel towards the floor. So that right hip lifts. And again, stand your feet up. So please don't force yourself in. I mean, I'm not getting into anything too deep, particularly when I turn my left heel outwards. It's a little dip, and I'm just letting the movement of that little dip travel up into the hip, up into the belly. So again, you kind of notice that your rib cage waves around from side to side. So again, you've got a little dancing, wiggly pigeon. How cool is that? You've got a really clever little foot, haven't you? Lovely, really nice work there. I'm spying on you online, you know. Okay. So let's come back onto our left thigh, right thigh, and then moving into our twist. I thought that'd be quite a nice way to get into this twist with that. Okay, so we've got our legs out wide. Just placing your right hand over on your left thigh. Just think of pushing your palm gently forwards, take it out, and you're going to let your toes rotate inwards in that same way that we've just been doing. Left toe might turn outwards, right toe turn inwards, pelvis is lifted a little bit on that right side. Slide back, come back to seated. Feel how your pelvis comes to the floor, and then do it again. So slide that hand forwards again, let your toes turn, let your knees turn. Rotate that. I've got another little pandiculation can throw in here. So as you slide your hand down towards your foot and your right hip's lifted, squeeze your right hip up a little bit more towards your right armpit, and then roll it back towards the floor. So it's your right hip bone. Shrug it up towards your right armpit, so you can feel that pelvis lift a little bit. You'll feel that right knee turn in a little bit more, and then rotate it back down towards the floor. So you want to press that right hip towards the floor. And again, one more time, squeeze it up. And then again, draw it down, open out the right ribs, and then we're going to slide back to seated. We'll go the other way, so taking your left hand onto your right thigh, slide it down, so let your toes turn, let your pelvis lift on that left side, and again, slide back. So again, slide your hand down, left hip lifts a little bit, knee turns in a little bit, and again, slide back. And then we'll sink into that little fold, so as you come down, think of the outer hip on that left side, squeeze it up towards your armpit so you can feel that left side tighten, and then imagine you want to press that left hip back towards the floor. So press it down towards the floor, and then again, squeeze it up towards the armpit, and then again, press it down towards the floor. One more time, squeeze it up, so your knee rotates in, and then again, press it down towards the floor, sinking back to seated. So we're going to take this right hand, and if you look across towards the space just behind you from your right leg, see how you feel that sliding that hand off behind you a little bit. So let the knee turn inwards. That left hand, mine goes under the shoulder and press into the floor, and then come back. So you're going to push that left hand to come back. And then do it again. That right hand slides off to the left. So again, my left hand is kind of supporting me as I reach out. And then with a push with that left hand to come back. And then we'll do it one more time. Moving back, going the opposite way. So that right hand finds the floor, we're going in the opposite direction. So from the left leg, So notice your pelvis turns, knee turns, sliding back, and that right hand is acting as something to kind of support yourself with. So slide down, that's it, beautiful, really nice. You get a good sense of reach from the centre of your back. Moving back to centre. Bring your feet together. And just bring your fingers towards your ankles and just bend your elbows gently, take a bow towards your legs. And then we're going to roll to seated. So take your time to seated, to lay down, slide your legs out and just let yourself surrender into the floor. So bringing your focus into how your body is being supported by the floor. So the benefits to me of yoga is many fold. Obviously there's a physical benefits. Then there's this benefit, the quietness of the mind, the steadiness of the breath. It's time where you can just get in touch with how you feel. When you're ready, begin to stand your feet up, place on the floor. And then gently tip your tailbone forwards towards the floor and then just allow your lower back to find the floor. Do that a few times. And then bring your knees into your belly, give yourself a hug, and then find a way into seated. Namaste. It was such a challenge for me not to say anything then. I'm like, just let them have a rest. I should talk at them all the time. And I'm like this. I kept looking, oh, it's only been a minute. Keep quiet. So hard. Right. Sorry. Right, I'll stop the recording. You can talk to me if you want, but you